So let's get started. Hold on, let me just get a couple of things here and working. All right, everyone. So welcome. Hopefully, everybody's having a great event here. Hopefully, it's all about learning how to trade today's markets. Got a bunch of great presenters here talking for the next 2 days. What I'm going to specifically talk about is iceberg orders. What the hell is an iceberg order? Well, basically, my whole big thing is to teach you all how to follow the dominated market makers, basically how they use high frequency trades, algorithms. If you had ever had a chance, I know one of you, Tammy, was just brought up. What do you think of NASDAQ? Well, once again, I've been on NASDAQ, the NASDAQ TV show. I talk specifically on NASDAQ Workstation too. On the NASDAQ Total book. And I'm going to show you exactly the tools about how to do things the right way. Now, before I get started, just a really quick question for everyone here. Can everyone just tell me what kind of trader is everybody here? Like, are you a swing trader, an options trader, a Forex trader, a day trader, stock trader? Just want to get to know a little bit about who's here and what you guys are doing. Al, Cohen, I see a bunch of people in here. Jeff, let me know what kind of traders you are. John, do a little futures. Okay. Dave, do some options. What about you, Leo? Pete, Tom? Day trading mostly? Oh, Tammy? Okay. Futures? All right. Good. Well, the thing is this, depending on what kind of trading you are, I always kind of tell everyone that it's good that all of you here are trading different markets. But the thing is this, if you've been doing it for a while and you're not making money doing it, but even though you love the business, it's okay to try something else. All right. So, I'm an actual day trader and I learned how to trade options. I do some swing trading. I tried futures and Forex. I like personally to day trade because I'm in and out the same day. I know what I made. I know what I lost. Come back tomorrow, another new day. That's what trading's all about. So I just find it a little bit more uh, easier just to kind of day trade. I'm going to talk a little bit about it, and you're going to see how it's actually not as difficult as it becomes. But before we get started, always want to kind of tell everyone, quick warning sign for everybody here. Please, everyone, trading is very difficult. There's no guarantees, no promises, there's no warranties suggesting you day trading. So when you go out there and trade, be very, very careful. Only risk what you could afford to lose. And that's really what that comes down to it. All right. So let me go check that out. So now I got that out of the way. What are we going to learn today? So basically, we're going to talk about how to find the best stocks to trade. Okay. We're also going to talk about how to compete against the smart money in trading. We're also going to talk about developing a consistent trading plan, modern tape reading. Oops, sorry about that. Looks like my alarm went off. Give me 1 second. My fire alarm went off. I don't know what that is. All right, guys, I'm back. Looks like my wife burned something in the kitchen. I guess it's some of the tools that you have working from home, I guess, with all COVID, right? That was the first time that ever happened to me, by the way. All right, so let's get back to trading and talk about a little bit about what we do here. Just a quick little intro about CyberTrade University. I've been doing it for over 25 years. I've been a prop trader for about 5 years before I got into the trading and started CyberTrade University. The reason how I got into the teaching business, and I don't know, everyone obviously has their own type of way of how they got into the industry, but I actually teach people not just to teach them, but to trade with them. Now, a lot of people here really don't qualify to trade, and that's okay. That's fine. But you got to try a couple of people out there, kind of get the style. But my style, the way I teach people is I teach them not how to make money, but how to stop losing it. And then coming in, I'm going to invite every one of you in my trading room, and hopefully everybody here will get that opportunity to kind of see what it's like to be in a real professional trading room, which is one of the original chat rooms that I started over 25 years ago. Now, that's mainly how I got started, and I'll tell you, I love trading. I'm actually a trading junkie, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I do so many trades a day, but the thing is, I lose and I make. And every time I lose, I learn. The big thing about it is to be consistent. You have to trade and you got to know how to control losses, which I'm going to talk about. Now, there were a couple of trades that were going on today, and what I'm going to show you is how to stop losing money and following the trend. Now, just a question for everybody here. Can everyone just tell me, realistically, when you trade the market, what makes a stock go up and go down? Can anybody answer that question? I know it's a very dumb question, and some of you probably going to have second thoughts of answering, but how do stocks go up and go down in the market? How do they go back up and down? Buyers and sellers. Exactly. Buyers and sellers. Just could everyone just put that in there? Just want to make sure that everybody's following along. Susan, I didn't hear from you. Tammy, Pat, Michael, guys, just tell me. Just write S&D or B and S. Buyers and sellers. Okay, good. Thank you. Just want to make sure you guys are paying attention, because what I'm about to show you is going to make you fall off your chair. You're going to realize what you've been doing is you're probably making trading more complicated than what it is. So let's talk about a stock really quick right here. And we're going to talk about VERU. All right. Now, VERU this morning, did anybody see the stock VERU trade this morning? It started early this morning, went from $9 all the way up. Hold on, let me get my little crayon here. See if I follow along. There's my animation. There we go. There we go. All right. Did anybody see the stock for this morning? It went from like $9 in pre-market all the way to $11.50, and then it started going down. Did anybody see this stock? Nope. No one saw this stock? Wow. I mean, that was a pretty big move for a morning stock, right? Well, guess what? Did you know that the stock had a big run up, and then it constantly had a seller out here for 40,000 shares? And you see how the stock went down, and then he came back and he pushed it down another, ran the stock down again, and it was trying to go back up, but he kept lowering his offer. Look at that, 40,000 shares. Everybody see that right there? That guy, let me just maybe have to draw this up for you so you can see a little bit better. This guy right here was him. And this was him too. And this was him. And this was him. Now, do you ever do a trade out there and you're like, and it has a really good trend, and all of a sudden it starts making lower lows? It just keeps going down, or like, wait a minute, the stock looks like it's going up. Why is it starting to trend down? Well, did you know that? Did you ever thought that maybe somebody was trying to get out of it? Remember what you just all said, David, Mary, Galaxy, all of you guys. How do stocks go up and go down? Buyers and sellers. What you're seeing right here is something called level 4. And level 4 is one of the tools that I was trained over 25 years ago, which we used to call it an Instinet machine, where Instinet stands for institutions, where institutions are. Now think about it. If you didn't know that seller was out there when he was out there at 11.50, if you didn't see that right there, guess what? Now you're down all the way down to here to 11.14. And you know what? It kept going lower and lower and lower. Now, let me just clear all animations, and let me change the slide here. Because look what ended up happening to the stock. Look at this chart. Once the market opened up, not only was it at 11.14, but it went all the way down to $9. $9. Wait a minute. Stock goes from 9 to 11.50, and it comes right back down an hour or 2 hours later, back down to 9. Who pushed it down? Well, the question is, are you following the money? Are you following the orders? Well, unfortunately, when people trade, they always look what's going on in the past. Think how much smarter and better trading decisions you would make if you would be able to see the orders out there in the future. Because if you're one of the people who owned at 1150 and was down to 9, you're really going to take a nasty hit here. So this is the exact reason why 70 to 90% of the traders fail. And we all know about failure. And the big thing is you want to learn not to fail. You want to learn why people are failing so you don't make that same mistake. So let's start off with something that is very standard that I think a lot of people have. Now, let me show you exactly how to read the market, and then you're going to see how we implement this into our everyday trading. Do you guys know, anyone here use level 2? Anybody here trade with level 2 at all? Anybody have it? Just give me a yes or no. Anybody here, just give me a yes if you have level 2, or if you don't, just give me a no. Okay, Tammy, you don't. Pete, you do. Okay, anybody else? David, you have it? Okay. Mary, you have it? All right. All right, so let me just tell you something about level 2. Level 2 is a waste of time. It's been outdated for 20 years, and I'll tell you why. Level 2 is not giving you all the data, okay? It's not telling you who all the buyers and how many shares they want to buy and how many shares they want to sell, okay? It's not showing you all the orders. Now, remember, you said this yourself. How do stocks go up and go down? Supply and demand, buyers and sellers. So level 2, yes, you're seeing buyers and you're seeing sellers. Buyers are on the bid, sellers are on the ask. You see who wants to pay the most, and you want to see who wants to pay less. But you're not seeing every single order out there. There's just a fraction of the data that's out there. Now, my next question to you is this. Does anybody here have NASDAQ total view or level 3? Anybody here have these two? One person. Out of all the people out, we have over 100 people in here. Only one person has it. Oh my God, you guys, you're going to fall off your chair right now. Let me tell you, what you're about to see is going to be very disturbing, because you're going to realize that you've been trading blind ever since you've been trading. Remember, how do stocks go up and go down? Buyers and sellers. Think how much smarter and better trading decisions you would make if you could see the buyers and sellers. So let's talk about NASDAQ Book Viewer. Now, if you get an opportunity, I actually was showcased several times on NASDAQ, specifically talking about their platform, because remember, NASDAQ doesn't need Fausto Pugliese or Cybertrade University on their show, but they want me there because they want you to understand how to use something that is called an ECN. Now, an ECN, the abbreviation is Electronic Communication Network. I was actually one of the developers who helped build these ECNs back in the late 90s. So what you're seeing here is this. You're seeing all the buyers and all the sellers around the world, and how many orders are out there, how many shares that want to be bought, and at what price they want to buy it. Whoever wants to buy it for the most amount of money is up on top. Whoever wants to buy it for less money is down at the bottom. Look at all those orders. Look how many shares that are out there. Look how many orders are out there. You can't see that with level 2. Only level 3 is going to show you every single buyer and seller out there. Now, here's the $64,000 question. How do we use this data? Because when you look at it, a lot of numbers, right? You're like, you know what? What do I know to watch? What do I know what to do? Well, this is how it works. PLTR. The stock goes from $28 all the way down for about an hour and finally stops at $24.50. And then right around 10:30, some unusual reason, the stock goes back up to 26.50. Why would it stop at 24.50? Why not 25.50? Why not 22? Why, out of all the numbers, did it finally bounce at 24.50? Well, there's only one way to answer that. Buyers. And when you look over here on the level, on the total view, you'll notice buyers what make the stock go up. And there is a 58,000 shares that are looking to be bought at 24.50. And there are 21 orders around the world that make up that 58,000 shares. Now, when you look at the stock, listen, there are 100 share buyers, 500 share buyers at each price level. But at that specific price, there was a substantial buyer at 24.50. Now, think about this for a second. How much smarter and trading decisions would you make just by knowing where the buyers are? All right? Because even on the sell side, we don't even have those kind of orders. I mean, you got a couple of 3,000 share sellers, but come on, I mean, seriously, 58,000? That's like almost like 20 to 50 times more than the norm. It's actually even more. Maybe 500 times more than most orders are at each price level. That is why the stock went up and started going down. Now, what about resistance levels? Here's a stock that goes from 1850 at 9:30 in the morning, finally finds a resistance levels and starts backing off right at 24. Why didn't it stop at 22? Why didn't it break down at 21? Why 24? Oh, no wonder why. When you look all the way down here, 54,000 shares looking to be sold. You got 200 shares, 500 shares, 100 shares, 54,000. Kind of makes sense why the stock backed off from there. And you know what? If you didn't have a game plan and didn't get out and you got greedy or got cocky, guess what? Kind of stink if you were one of some of these people that held on to it and it dropped back down to 2050. And yes, that could happen. And why did it happen? Not because that you said, Tammy, not because of you, Mary, not because of President Trump or President Biden said so, or, the Federal Reserve. It's because of that order. Has nothing to do with news, has nothing to do with earnings, has nothing to do with politics, has nothing to do with any of that. It has to do that somebody wanted to get out of it. And if he's out there selling it and no one's buying it from him, there's only one way to make that stock to him to get out. He will hit this bid and start executing these people. And if you do the math, to get out of 54,000 shares, it's going to take a lot of people to knock down to fulfill that 54,000. No wonder why the stock dropped so much. By the way, before we move forward, did I lose anybody? I just want to ask. I just want to find out. Is anybody confused? Did we lose anyone here? Everybody following along? Good. Because you should. And think about it. We only been talking for what? 15 minutes, right? Could you imagine what you will learn in a week? Well, you're going to find out what I mean by that. Because I'm going to invite every single one of you to come and see me show you this live in the market. Think about it. Some of you like, you know what? Like, I'll be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of PowerPoints because people look at it and say, you know what? Anybody can make a pretty PowerPoint, right? Everybody can make it look like it makes sense. Could you show it to me live? And you damn well, I can, because I will. That's what trading is all about. All right. Everybody ready to have a little fun? Let's have a little test. Let's look at this stock right here. I assume everyone knows how to read a chart. Okay. So let's look at this example right here. Can everyone just tell me, is this stock going to go up or down? Let's see how you guys answer this question. If you don't know how to answer this question, give me a question mark. Is this stock going up or down? Down, down. Anyone else? Let's just see. Let's see how you guys answer it. If you can't answer this question, fellow traders, I'm going to do you a big favor. And please don't take it in a bad way. You should definitely quit trading. I mean, if you can't answer this, two things: you're not paying attention, or you really don't know what you're doing. And let me tell you something. You don't want to be part of the 70 to 90% failure rate in today's industry. Okay? So guess what? Let's move on. If you said it was going down, congratulations. You have just passed charting 101. Now, here's the $64,000 question. What do we need for the stock to stop going down? What do we need, everyone? Can anyone answer that? It's one word. I'll give you a hint. You need one word. Buyers. Very good, David. Very good, Joseph. Do you see buyers on the chart? I don't see any buyers in the chart. Well, I mean, so there's only one way that the stock can go up and find out. We got to go check and look at the orders. Now, when you look over here on the NASDAQ book viewer, you'll notice there are over 259 different orders around the world that will make up 102,000 shares looking to be bought at $9. What do you think is going to happen when the stock gets close to 9? You think it's going to go up or it's going to go down? Well, remember, you don't trade 100,000 share lots, because if you were, you probably wouldn't be here. Okay. But in theory, it should probably go up. And guess what? Exactly what it's supposed to do. Stock went from 1080 all the way to 9, hit that buyer right there, and it ricocheted right back to 1020. Do you know, let's do the math. If you bought 1,000 shares of that stock at $9, you sold it 30 minutes later, make yourself, I don't know, $1 on 1,000 shares. On $1 move is $1,000. You do that every day, there's your $250,000. Pays a hell of a lot more than Social Security, I can tell you that. This is why people love trading, because it pays a lot of money. But the reason people fail is A, they don't take the time to learn it. B, they don't find the right mentor. C, they have the wrong brokerage account. I mean, I honestly, I can go away to Z probably. But at the end of the day, you got to learn how to play the game. That's really what it comes down to. Abdul, I'll tell you at the end. Abdul's question, how do I get level 3 access, please? I didn't get there yet. All right. Now, where is, let's just look right at the data. Where is resistance levels? And we're looking at a stock Uber. Can anybody tell me? Where would you assume resistance levels would be on Uber? Let's see how you guys answer this question. Well, remember, resistance are sellers, right? Sellers are over there on the right. Where do you see sellers? Well, if you said 5140 to 5150, congratulations. You're right. You're talking almost 200,000 shares looking to be sold right around that number. So what do you think the stock's going to do when it gets to 5150? Well, stock really looks like it looks good up here, keeps trending up, making higher highs. Yeah, well, guess what? Keep waiting. Keep waiting. Keep waiting. An hour, 2 hours. Like, I don't understand. Why is the stock not breaking yet? Oh, well, did you look at the orders out there? Because guess what? It's just a matter of time when that stock's going to back off, because that's what's holding it from going higher. Not some, analyst or some indicator. It's that big block seller. This, fellow traders, is what we show you at Cyber Trading University. This is our style. Now, listen, I didn't invent this style. This is not something that, this is the Fausto Cybertrade University, indicator or whatever it is. I live here in New York. I've been here my whole life. I've been trained by the best traders. We all know New York is the financial capital of the world. Okay. I live in a town. Some of the biggest traders live in my town. Okay. I was trained by the best. This is what they do. I mean, when you look at the New York Stock Exchange and you see all those monitors down there, what do you see? You see orders. They're looking at orders. Who are the best traders? The guys on the floor. Well, don't you want to trade like them? Well, guess what? You're talking to one of them. That's what I did. Now, at Cybertrade University, we call these big block orders iceberg orders. And the reason why we call them iceberg orders is because, one day I was watching the movie The Titanic, and I said that was a beautiful ship and nice people. And but sure enough, they were so concerned about the beauty of the ship, they didn't have the right radar, and it's not, and had the guy looking out for the iceberg, but didn't realize it's not what's on top of the water. An iceberg is huge on the bottom. So if you don't have the second level of data to see that, you don't want to be like the Titanic and sink and die, because that's what ends up happening. You need to know where those iceberg orders are at all times. Now, I get people always ask me, it says, Fausto, but you know what? I heard these are fake orders. I mean, like, let me explain something to you. If you think these are fake, when you come in my trading room, I'll find some of them and we'll use your money. You'll see how fake they are. Okay. Now, can somebody cancel an order? Of course they could cancel an order. It's part of the job, right? So how do we know if these orders are getting executed or they're being canceled? Well, there's this thing that's called time and sales. Time and sales are the confirmation of transactions that take place. So you get to see all these transactions. Greens mean if people on the offer are getting executed. Red if transactions have bid, the buyers are getting executed. So you kind of get a gauge of where the direction the stock is going just by following the time and sales. Now, if you ever read any of the old books, maybe you had an opportunity to read my book. I'm the author of How to Beat Market Makers at Their Own Game. You could buy it on Amazon. So, and in that book, it specifically tells you that I am a tape reader. And if you probably read about them, those type of people, that's what I do. I teach people how to read the tape. Basically, you're reading the orders that are going off. Now, let's look at the example right here. Let's look at SKLZ, okay? Here's a stock in one day ran from $12 all the way up to about 16 in about a couple hours. Now, how do we know these orders are getting filled or canceled? Well, you see right here that there was a big seller. This is the selling market. And there was a 121,000 share seller at 1450. Now you could see how the stock kind of hit there and hit there and hit there for about an hour, and finally broke out and went away to 16. Now, why did the stock break 1450? Well, if you look here in time and sales, that guy at 1450 was getting executed. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 2,600, 5,500, 1,300. The guy was getting sold. People were actually buying it from him. Okay? So you could have a demand. And guess what? If that demand gets filled, it will go higher. And yes, that could happen. Hey, ever look at a resistance level and say, wow, I can't believe that stock broke a major resistance level? Well, what do you think makes a resistance level? Sellers. Okay? And sometimes, you might want to, I'll use some type of metaphor. I mean, I don't know if anybody owns a house, but like houses are like taking off. You're looking at some houses and you're like, wait a minute. I just offered the guy, what he was asking, and it went 50 to 100,000 more than what I was asking. I don't know where you guys live, but the housing market where I live has been flying off the shelf. You can't even buy a house at asking. It's almost like they're setting you up. The thing goes, wait a minute, now I'm in a bidding war? Yeah. You don't think that happens in the stock market too? You just have to know how to play the game. Now, does that seem hard, everybody? Does that seem confusing? I don't think so. SRNE. Big. Sorry about that. It's not an S, it's a buyer. I made a mistake there. So please, let me just fix that. That's a buyer. All right. At 17, right? Right there. See that right there? Now watch what happens. Let me change the slide here. Big buyer. Look what happens. Stop. You better get out before it gets crushed, because look at that. One of the big things you have to understand as a trader is having a game plan. Now, there you have a buyer. This is the opposite, like we saw before on the seller side. And you see a buyer out there sitting in there, and you're seeing these transactions, 17, 17, 17, 17. Look at all that red. Look at all that bleeding. Do you want to own a stock by seeing the street selling it? I know you love these companies, and I know that you might want to, you probably want to say, wow, you know what? I know the company for a while. It's a good stock. It's a good company. Or maybe you just don't want to take a loss. Let me explain something to you, fellow traders. When you think you know something about the stock market, you're going to lose everything. And you know what? I never understood that, because that's what my mentors taught me. And they said, Fausto, it doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter. It's all about what the street does. Unless you're, Warren Buffett, and you could go out there and pay whatever you want for the stock, and you could run this thing to the ground. It doesn't matter what you think. You have to be on the same playing field. And the people are selling it. Guess what? You better sell it soon, because that stock went from $17 and it dropped all the way down to 11. Has that ever happened to anybody? Ever sit there and wonder, like, damn, why didn't I sell it yesterday? Why didn't I get out? Why was I so ignorant? Why was I hoping too much? Because you were not following the money. That is the only reason why. And that's why people fail. And that's why I love teaching. That's why I've been doing this for so long, because I've seen so many people blow up their accounts, not by making money. They just don't know how to take a loss. And they just don't know to see if these orders are out there getting filled. Does anybody here use indicators? Anybody here use an indicator in trading? Which indicators you guys use? What kind of indicators? MACDs, okay. Stochastics, Tammy, okay. Now, could you guys tell me, looking at this chart right here, we got chart number 1 and chart number 2. Which chart's easier to read? Number 1 or number 2? Obviously, right? You got moving averages, RSI, momentum, stochastics. I'm sorry, I can't read. It's pretty small right there. But I mean, to me, this is just like a big thing of spaghetti. All right. Now, indicators do work for investors, long-term traders. It does not work for day trading. By the time all these things kick in, you're too late. I would rather just follow money than use some indicator that was basically, invented by some mathematician. Because this is working on what's happening in the past. It's not indicative of the future. If you learn how to make things less complicated, trust me, you'll be more aggressive on your trades, and that's how you learn. You see, you don't learn from watching. You learn from trading. You don't make money by buying a lot of shares. You learn by buying less and trading more often. That is how you become a very good trader. Like I told you earlier, for some of you who didn't hear me, I'm a trading junkie. I'll do like maybe 20, 50 transactions a day, maybe more. I don't know. So sometimes I might even do 0. It depends what's going on out there. I always find out when I trade more, I'm losing more, so I try to be you learn how to be more conservative as you get older, and you trade for longer. But if you keep thinking, you're not going to trade and you're going to miss a lot of these runs. And that's where people blow up their accounts. So don't get analyst paralysis is what we say in the trading. You look at a platform, you're seeing a lot of numbers. Trust me, there's a way to tone it down. There's a way how to keep things more simple, not as complicated. And that's really what it comes down to it. Just follow the money. Now, another thing I want to bring up is like a lot of, do any of you here follow me on YouTube or Twitter and stuff like that? Because we actually always post a watch list every day. Could always send you that link. You can follow up on, we have a new website that's coming out actually starting on Friday. I'll just give you the link right now. We'll just give you the beta version of it. But here's our link right there. And I'm just going to bring up the website a little bit. And yeah, if you go over here, it says social network. If you click over here, you could basically follow us on all our social network channels. And, a lot of these things that we cover, we're live every morning. And you can watch some of these great videos, NASDAQ book viewer, trading on the matrix, all these pretty cool videos that I, to kind of give you a little heads up, know a little bit more about us. But just learn how to keep things simple, makes things easier. Regarding about you all being here today, today is a type of a day where trading is learning, and you got to learn from not one, but several types of traders. You have to learn from, and you know what? You may have probably taken a course with somebody, and if it's not working out, that's okay. You can learn from somebody else, but it might take you a few mentors before you actually learn from somebody. But if you really think that you're going to go out there and be self-taught, I mean, let's think about this for a second. What do we need doctors for? How about this? Have any of you guys ever had to get a lawyer before? Do you have any idea how much lawyers charge? Right? Everybody's like, my God, these guys are like a ripoff. How much they charge? No disrespect to any lawyers out here, but we all know that you're not going, in front of a judge without having representation. Okay. Oh, I didn't want to pay the $300 an hour. Okay, great. Let me know how that works out with you because you're facing some serious crime right now. I'll take my chances. Yeah, let me know how that works out for you. You think going out there and giving your money to somebody that never learned finance, you think you're going to be able to do that? There are more people that fail in trading. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's so scary how much people, but you know what? The reason why is they're not smart like you people that are here today. They're out there trying to say, I'll just watch, I'll figure it out. How hard could it be? Do you know when I started, and to do what we do today, you had to be licensed. You had to take your Series 7 and 63. It's like the third hardest test to take behind to be an accountant or taking your bar degree as a lawyer. Now they got rid of that because they felt like, you know what? I don't want to go into a whole reasoning because what happened with brokerage firms and this lawsuit that happened, but they want to give you the freedom. You should be able to trade your own money. It's your money. You should do what you want. You don't need to have somebody trade it for you. But to do what we do today and have access to direct access markets, you had to be licensed. And guess what? I'm very thankful that I did, because if I didn't, I would not be here today. And take from experience. Before I became a very successful trader, I became a very successful loser because I was an ignorant 22-year-old kid when I started. And I'm like, I don't need to learn. What are they going to teach me? First of all, I didn't want to commute to the city. I didn't want to split the profits. Now, We got hundreds and hundreds of traders in our trading room, and I'm going to invite every single one of you to see these other people, what they're doing, and see if they're trading. And that is why CTU is proudly featured and partnered with some of the biggest traders in the brokerage firms in the industry. Like, do you really think like Thinkorswim would have Fausto Pugliese do presentations for them? Charles Schwab, Tastyworks, NASDAQ? You see, these brokerage firms know that their acquisition costs are very expensive to get a new client. They want you to be educated because if you know what you're doing, you'll be a client theirs forever. But unfortunately, you can't force anyone to get educated. You have to learn before you could earn. That's what trading is all about. And our strategy here is the same strategy that Wall Street traders do. We just follow the money, follow the orders. Now, this is what I'm looking forward to do for everybody here. I'm looking to invite every single one of you to my live trading room. Now, I don't know if anybody's been to a live trade room, but I started the first one over 20 years ago. You'll see a lot of them opening up. Some of them actually my students, you know, because eventually you outgrow CTU. And basically, we want you to see not and judge us on our winners. We want you to judge us on our losers. We want you to see how the traders think for themselves, how they basically communicate with themselves, how they trade with themselves, you know, how they think for themselves. Because remember, by the law, nobody can tell you what to buy and sell. It's illegal. I don't know if you know that. Okay. Unless they're registered. We don't tell anybody what to buy and sell. We just teach you how to play the game. You need to think for yourself. And we want you to see all the traders that we trained and how they're going out there and do it themselves. We have live commentary. It runs from 9 o'clock till 10 and from 2:30 to 4 o'clock, basically the first hour and the last hour. Now, this is what you're going to get. All I'm asking for is a $9 application fee. Okay. And what that $9 is going to get you is this. And let me just get you the link too, so I don't forget. Basically, let me just get that trial fee link for you. So what you're going to get is you're going to get the live cyber group trading room. Hold on, let me put the link there. There you go. You're going to get 3 daily market meetings, a morning and afternoon watch list, stocks that we trade all the time. You're going to be able to speak to your own personal education advisor, a weekly Q&A session, over 100 hours of recordings, all for a lousy $9. That's it, just $9. Now, why are we only charging $9? People pay hundreds for this, thousands. Because the thing is this, we don't know if you really are qualified to be a trader. And we want you to just get access to the room, and then we're going to have a conversation, and we're going to see if you could do this. And I'm telling you, when you guys, as much as you might want to do this, you're going to realize trading, you know, if you could do it or not. Or some of you are like, oh my God, this is the best thing since sliced bread. Now it makes sense. But we wanted you to be able to fill out and tell us who you are, because we really don't know who you are. We just don't let anybody in the trading room. You know, we're very, very selective who's in there. We don't know if you're a competitor or, I don't know, or a heckler or, you know, an extortionist. You know, they're out there, believe it or not. But all it is $9. And you know what? As a bonus, I'm going to throw this in. If you register today, I'll even do a coaching class with you personally myself. Now, I don't know if you guys ever spoke to the owner of any school or whatever, but like, what is my invested interest in you? Why would I ever take the opportunity to talk to everybody here? Because my thing is, I got to make sure you're a good fit. I need to interview you. Remember, we're not here to give you 800 hours of videos and then go figure out on your own. I want to make sure that we could trade together. It's almost like a job interview. And you know what? After 9 days, after 5-7 days, if you find that's not for you, you want your $9 back, we'll give it back to you. Trust me, I don't need your $9. No disrespect at all, but I'm looking for people I can make 6 figures with. Somebody that could help me find these iceberg orders, someone that could help me, you know, find us all, work to be a team player and do that. I mean, that's basically what it comes down to it. So what are you going to get? The live cyber group trading room, 3 daily market meetings, a morning after watch list, personal education advisor. I'm going to show you how to read level 2 and level 3. One of you guys are asking me, how do you find where do you get level 3 from? You know what? For the person that asked me that, I'm sorry, I cannot tell you that, because if I do, I'm going to make more harm to you than good. If you want to learn how to do it, just pay $9. Let me show it to you and do it the right way. Okay? It's actually cheaper than paying the $15. So you got a deal right there. All right. Now, does anybody have any questions in the meantime? Anyone have any last minute questions? Is level 3 on futures? Actually, Jim, there's actually a level 4 on futures. Okay. Now, I don't trade futures, but once again, I don't know who you are, but if you want to know who could teach you that, you could always send me an email and just explain to me what you're looking for, and I'll be able to get it for you, Jimmy. Okay. Which is pretty cool. And there's actually level 4 for cryptocurrency, which is even better, which is great for anyone who trades crypto. Any other questions? I personally trade stocks. I mean, I'm just a stock guy. I like stocks because, you watch TV all day. That's what they talk about, the financial market. You hear, politicians want to tax Wall Street. They're very jealous of us, all of us. It's not just me. They're jealous of everyone in the trading business because they know we do very well together, But I've learned, what? If you can't beat them, join them. Listen, I don't like a lot of people on Wall Street myself too. I mean, I know what they do, but you know what? I'm not part of that. I work for myself. I'm just here just trading. Listen, with COVID, you got you got nowhere to go. Why not sit home and trade all day? You think I want to take a train to the city all day? And I don't know if anyone here is from New York. It is probably the most expensive place to live. So you need to make some serious money to live here. How are you going to do that? Trade the market. Any other questions? I recommend you guys to start because remember, you got to pick a due date when you want to start. If you want to start, I usually like to tell people, start right away. Start tomorrow. I mean, watch the videos and start tomorrow. Let me show you how to read level 3, level 4. Then you get into the trading room, do your walkthrough, book your appointment for your call with me, and we'll go from there. But don't waste any time. There's nothing to waste. All you're doing is procrastinate, and then you end up forgetting about it. Listen, there's a lot of great speakers that are going to be here for the next 2 days. Okay. Watch all of them. And if you can't pay attention, watch the recordings. But you're going to need a few mentors, like I said earlier, until you find the right person that's going to teach you how to trade. But you can't be doing this on your own. All right. All right, guys. So if there's nobody's got any other questions, David, I'll probably just end a little bit early right now. Give everyone an opportunity to maybe catch a break and fill up some coffee or something like that. Maybe get lunch. I know you got another presenters coming right after me, or if somebody wants to register, you got some time to do it. But all I could say is this. Listen, guys, thank you so much for having me again. It's always a pleasure to be here and do presentations for Dave and Anka for inviting me. And like I said, feel free if you have any questions regarding anything, don't hesitate. Just ask me. The worst thing could happen is that at least someone could tell you exactly where to look before you make that mistake. It's cheaper to ask the pros than trying to figure out on your own. Google can't answer everything for you. I can tell you that right now. All right. But thanks again, everyone. And hopefully see you all in the trading room, and hopefully you learned a lot. See you soon.